The type of wood that you use for smoking meat is one of the biggest debates in all of barbecue, and I'm going to share with you my secrets and help you decide for yourself the wood that you should use. Before we talk about wood choice, let's talk about what it means to have wood that is seasoned. A common mistake that people make is they'll go to their neighbors and pick up some fresh fruit tree trimmings and try to smoke with it the same day. You can't do that because there's way too much water in the wood, and that'll result in some pretty nasty white smoke. And the reason for that is there's a lot of water in that fresh wood. It takes a lot of energy in order to be able to evaporate it, which lowers down the combustion temperatures, and you get incomplete combustion and that nasty, yucky smoke. And it's possible to take it too far. Let's say that your neighbor had that pile of wood that's been sitting there for years. That is probably way too dry, and if you were to try to smoke with it, it would burn up way fast and not produce any smoke at all. You'll end up with too much heat, and you're gonna have a hard time maintaining your temperatures. Most of the wood that you buy at the store is kiln dried, where they put it in an oven so that way it evaporates off most of that moisture. And if you buy it today, you can cook with it today. But you may find that you need more of that, or it gets too expensive buying it from the store whenever you need it. You can look at the local classifieds, and a lot of times homeowners will try to get rid of it for free, and the only cost then is to go out, to pick it up and bring it home and wait a little while for it to season and dry out to the perfect amount. When it comes to smoking woods, I divide them up into three distinct categories. You've got your mild, your medium, and what are you thinking, or at least maybe just an experiment. Some of these woods are pretty strong and aren't great candidates for low and slow cooking. When it comes to mild smoke, fruit woods are your best friend. Something like peach, cherry, or even maple can give a nice subtle sweetness to your meat. I have peach, pear, and apple trees, and I have smoked with all of them, and I don't notice a very big difference between them. They're all really good, and I'd recommend them on absolutely any smoked meat that you want to make. They come with a really light flavor, which a lot of people appreciate, and it's harder to oversmoke than it is with some of the more intense flavors, and it's a good place to start. For medium smoke, you're probably going to go with something like pecan, oak, or hickory. And these have a little bit more smoke flavor, and they're often found in offset smokers because they provide more heat than the standard fruit woods. They also burn really cleanly and give a nice clean smoke for some of those long cooks like brisket or pork butt. And my favorite in this category is pecan. It is absolutely heavenly in anything poultry. You could do it on turkey or smoked chicken, and it'll come out absolutely amazing. This is one of the woods that I can tell the difference of if it's cooked with pecan versus some of these other woods. Pecan wood, along with oak, is really good for high temperature cooks like grilling pizza. If you want a little bit more flavor, you might go with something like hickory, which is great for really long cooks, especially on beef, chuck roast, as well as briskets. Mesquite. You're both hated and loved depending on who you talk to. Some people describe it as smelling like turpentine, and other people call it the flavor of the Southwest. It really depends on how you cook with it. Now, it's one that I do not recommend when you do use low and slow cooking because it will be absolutely overpowering. But something magical happens as you get it burning really hot. When it comes to grilling hot and fast, mesquite wood is really where it's at. If you get a really good coal bed, it will give a distinct flavor that people will remember. And it's the secret behind the best steak that I ever cooked for Grandma. It was on Christmas Eve. And it was because I only used mesquite wood. I didn't use any charcoal, and it was absolutely amazing. That said, I wouldn't use it if I was going to do something longer, like an hour and a half or 2-hour chicken, because it could be overpowering. Beyond that, you can totally experiment with other kinds of wood. I have olive, I've also used grapevines. Each of them give a different flavor, and it's neat to be able to do that. My advice for someone just starting out is to pick a wood and stick with it for a while. That gives you a chance to experiment with, say, how much wood you use compared to how much smoke flavor you get to figure out exactly what you like. Once you get that dialed in, you can experiment with any woods you like and figure out the differences.